Is the WWE Network doomed? That's what we're going to talk about. My name is Tubby Emu. I can't believe that, I'm going to say, I'll be honest with you. I'm a little, I don't want to say sad or surprised or anything like that, but the numbers have not been released lately for the WWE Network, so we have no idea how well, how good, how bad it's doing, except for the cuts that are coming in WWE. WWE released 11 talents. They even released a WWE announcer, Josh Matthews, who runs the pre-shows, the post-shows. He is the guy. When it comes to the WWE Network, whenever I talk about it on my YouTube or anywhere else, the initial response is, well, they wouldn't be failing if they were overseas. They wouldn't be failing if they were overseas. Tubby, they would not be failing if it was the U.S. only. And I honestly don't believe that. You can add in as many of the subscribers as you want. Say they launch internationally and they gain 1 million plus people. Say they get over their 2 million or the million threshold to break even. WWE isn't in the business of breaking even. Breaking even is not what Vince McMahon wants. I've been thinking about this long and hard, especially when it comes to subscriber numbers, price, and everything else. And I'll be honest with you. When the WWE Network first launched, I was absolutely ecstatic. For $9.99 a month, you would get access to all this content and all the pay-per-views for free. I was overjoyed. The real thing, about 3 or 4 months into having the network now, I realized a few different things. I don't use the WWE Network as much as I do Netflix. I don't use the WWE Network, hell, even as much as I do Amazon Video. While I do like the WWE Network, and it's a great option for pay-per-views, I still find that they're lacking content. I am a big fan of Legends House, the show, which is 2 years old now, finished up its run. Total Divas, just now coming to the WWE Network. A lot of things are on the horizon. One of the best documentaries of the year, Daniel Bryan's Road to WrestleMania, was absolutely fantastic. That was a WWE Network exclusive. A lot of the content that's on the network isn't necessarily bad. If you want to relive all the old pay-per-views, hell, it's a hell of a deal. Absolutely 100%. For guys like me, though, I'm more using it for the original content, the pay-per-views, etc. One of my biggest qualms with it, and I don't even know if that a word, qualms. One of my biggest qualms with it is the lack of original content so far. Now, I know what you're saying, Tubby. There's a lot of other content. You have WWE Network, WrestleMania Rewind, a bunch of other shows. And as much as some of my subscribers may go, what the fuck, Tubby, WWE Countdown, I don't watch them. I don't. That may be kind of stupid to say, admit, whatever, but it's the truth. I really don't watch the Countdown shows or anything like that. I'll occasionally watch an old pay-per-view just for the hell of it. I'll occasionally go back and, check out the Raw or SmackDown they add. I'll occasionally watch a main event. But that's what I see the WWE Network's future being. Live events. However, with the amount of money WWE is willing to give up to make this network a success, a lot of questions have to be posed. The big thing that I'm always hearing on Twitter and my YouTube, like I've stated before, is if they launch internationally, everything would be fine. A lot of things that people don't take into consideration, though, are the amount of TV rights deals, licensing fees, etc. that are around the globe. If you look at how many places the WWE is, where the WWE Network will potentially go, you see how much money WWE would have to figure out before they launch. Now, if they were to launch tomorrow, what shows happen when? In the U.S., we get Raw and SmackDown twice a week. Monday, 7 to 10. Friday, 7 to 9. WWE main events on the network. Superstars is on the network. Other companies, not other companies. Well, other companies, yes. Other cable providers, other countries, etc. get the shows on different days, different versions of the show. Some will get an hour broadcast of it. Some get a 2-hour broadcast of it. Some even get the full show. Some get it on tape delay, some get it live, some have to wait 4 or 5 days to get the show. All these factors, time zones, shows, different versions of the show, play into the WWE Network and what's potentially going to be on there when it launches internationally. I was reading a report on Seeking Alpha, which is a blog, and just kind of going through it, and they brought up a lot of key points in terms of the WWE Network and whether it was a success or not. One of the things we have to take into consideration is, yes, a lot of UK people did sign up with the fake US addresses. When you're looking at households, not viewers, you have to remember one network account, there may be 4 people watching in the household. So there are only 667 announced subscribers, 1.2, 2.5, who knows how many ever millions may be actually watching. Also, when it comes to the global TV deals and pay-per-view contracts, what if the content on the network is not the same offered as those shows? If you're in a country where you get an hour show and then now you have access to the network, are you then going to only get the hour version of that show? Are you going to get the full show? Are you going to get something you have yet to see before? Those are all questions that have to be asked before WWE just, quote-unquote, launches the network internationally. If you live in a country where TV is restricted and you don't get the full 3-hour show, or you get a version of it, or you get Sunday Aftershock, or whatever versions you may have, the legitimate question comes in is, once the network launches, what version of the show are you going to get? WWE may be okay with pissing off pay-per-view providers for the network, but are they willing to give up the big licensing and rights and TV deals that they have with a lot of these countries, cable companies, etc.? In my honest opinion, I don't think they are. When you look at how much money WWE gets from the TV deals, and granted the TV deal they just signed in the U.S. wasn't as valuable as they thought it was going to be. They were expecting a lot more money, but they kind of blew their wad a little prematurely, if you know what I mean. It's got to be a little disappointing, especially if I'm Vince McMahon. You know, when I was looking at the network subscribers, I thought to myself, that's actually not that bad. In that short of time to be able to get 667,000 subs, I thought that was going to be a lot less, to be honest with you. I was okay with it. But now looking at it, the potential to grow as they bring up good points, WWE Network numbers are down. TV numbers are down. Tour numbers, they're down. Can WWE really justify, can they really get the subscriber goals they need to stay relevant and stop losing money? My biggest worry is talent cuts and more are going to be coming as a result of the WWE Network. And by doing that, by cutting more people, they're potentially costing themselves more revenue with some of these guys. Now, granted, Josh Matthews, some of the referees, they're not bringing in money. They're not guys that are drawing, but they're still cuts within the company. They fired the head writer. They fired 11 superstars, a referee, an announcer. Big cuts are happening, and it all relates to the WWE Network. The losses that they're taking. Vince McMahon lost $350 to $600 million in literally a super short amount of time. With these staggering losses, these staggering numbers, one has to ask, what is next for WWE? Can an international launch of the network save the company? And my honest answer is no. WWE needs to make the network a place that's compelling, not only to fans, but to new fans alike. Think of the casual wrestling fans who only watch, say, one pay-per-view a month. The only reason they have the WWE Network is to watch a pay-per-view. There's nothing wrong with that. You save how much money? $40? $45? Somewhere like that? By saving that casual fan that money, they're really only probably interested in that one pay-per-view that they were looking to buy. Maybe WrestleMania, etc. So can they justify spending $60 for 6 months when they don't really watch it? The hardcore fans, yeah, it's worth it to them. If you look at the shows they get, what they get in return, even if you don't like main event, even if you don't like superstars, there is some good content on the network. Me personally, I don't really like to go back and watch old pay-per-views from the 90s or the 80s. I haven't really watched any of the ECW stuff. I hate to admit that. I really do. Because some of it was gold TV. But at a certain point, I just had to ask myself, was it really worth it? For me, network is absolutely worth it, but launching overseas is not going to solve WWE's problems. Launching overseas is not going to get WWE to instantly have to stop making cuts to have all the money they need to fund all this stuff. There is so much more WWE needs to do to stay relevant, to make money, and not just break even. Sure, they'll probably add a couple 100,000 subscribers. Sure, they'll probably get to their mark when they finally launch internationally. But when they do launch internationally, what happens? What shows do you get? Do you not get certain pay-per-views? Do you not get certain events? What happens? All those questions still have to be asked before the WWE Network even launches anywhere outside of the U.S. We know the WWE is okay, USA Network, Sci-Fi. We know they're okay with the network because they went and signed a new TV deal. How are the other companies going to play? What do they want? Are they going to want to pay less money because there's more shows? Is WWE going to have to put a delay on shows? Is WWE going to have to do so much WWE potentially has to do just to launch this network? Everybody thinks it's so simple as just throwing it up there. Netflix is one of the greatest examples where even fans, and I'll be honest, I've used it occasionally. I've gone and used the UK version of Netflix just to watch some certain shows that I can't watch here. I know a lot of UK people that get Netflix USA accounts or use an IP mask or whatever so they can watch USA shows they normally could not watch on UK Netflix. And that's already happening a little bit with the hardcore fans in the WWE Network. So what happens when they finally do launch globally? Where's it going to go from there? Who's signing up? When they do sign up, what kind of content are they going to get? That's the questions you've got to ask. Before you just say launching internationally solves all the problems, I can't help but think, I don't think it'll matter. WWE is losing a lot of money. WWE is in a hole right now, and they need something. They need a product that not only compels you to want to watch it on TV, because it hasn't been doing it for me for the past couple months, but you also need a network that has the content, besides relying on all your old content to draw in new viewers. As much as people rash and shit on Total Divas is an opportunity for the divas who haven't got hardly any exposure in the last couple of years, minus AJ Lee, etc., some notoriety. It's a new era. It's a new company. It's a new day. The WWE Network's got a lot to prove. When it does finally launch internationally, the question on everybody's mind is, what are you going to get? So before you rush to say the WWE Network, once it launches, it'll save the whole company, ask yourself when it does launch, am I going to get what I want from it? A lot of questions to be asked. Kind of, something I just kind of wanted to get off my mind because I keep seeing all these people, and there's so many comments that if they just launch, they'd be successful. Who's to say they will? Who's to say they won't? But right now, that's not necessarily what I see. So make sure to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, all that good stuff. And until next time, we will see you all later.